Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about blind bag builds, how they look in the late game, and to clear up some common misconceptions that are unfortunately being spread about blind bag builds. Before I go into anything else, I need to stress that there is some doubt that the wiki is calculating damage properly for the scythes, but it is unlikely that the principle I'm going to discuss in this video is incorrect. It should still apply after the numbers are fixed. It's just that the numbers getting fixed should, the exact numbers are going to change, but the comparison between these different loadouts should theoretically stay the same. But if that's not the case, I'll update this video whenever we get better numbers. So, first thing I want to talk about is that you do not want 5 scythes this league. The misconception and the original idea was that you wanted 2 uncharged scythes mixing in with your 3 charged scythes. And the idea behind this was that with your halberd, you would be adding, at a distance of 7, you're adding 21 minimum hits. And those 21 minimum hits to each hit splat would make it to where an uncharged scythe would be good enough to be in the blind bag. Turns out that is not the case. You reach peak scythe DPS at 3 scythes with nothing else in the bag. Charged scythes are simply so much better than uncharged scythes, and really any other weapon in the game. Adding anything to that perfection just results in less damage. Here you can see adding even the 4th scythe to the bag lowers our damage. In fact, in the 2 scythe build, if you add, like, let's say these weren't god swords, these were worse than god swords. So let's say that, like, memorize this number, 29.2. Let's say this was a Darox Great Axe, a Crystal Halberd, and what else can we put in the bag? Nox Halley would be good enough to put in the bag, but something else that's a little bit subpar. So slightly worse than Dark's Great Axe is a Anchor. You can see that Scythe is so much better than other things that we've lost damage by doing that. So if you have 2 Scythes, the rest of your bag better be Noxious Halberd, God Sword, Crystal Halberd. And if it can't be at least that good, or maybe you just have 3 god swords, then you don't put anything in the bag at all. As you can see, just having 2 scythes in the bag with no other items to boost your proc chance is equivalent, if not better, than having the mediocre items. And that principle still holds true when you add the 3rd scythe. It's just more extreme. Having the 3rd scythe out DPS is the 4th scythe. And let me go ahead and fix this one because now people are going to be confused. Let's just add the uncharged scythe again. But yeah, so having 4 scythes is not better than having 3 scythes. So this 5 scythe tech people we're talking about, it comes close to being equal with just 3 scythes, but it's worse. And I've also seen some configs hopping around that show a 6 scythe bag, and the reason they're deceived into thinking this is more DPS is because of a wiki bug, and that wiki bug is based off of this. So this number it says your proc chance goes up for every weapon in the blind bag. They didn't implement a cap on this, so you have an additional 2% chance when adding the 6th weapon to the blind bag, and at that point, since blind bag hits can proc blind bag hits, it becomes worth putting more scythes in the bag. But that's not true in reality. In reality, that doesn't work out because the number's capped at 10. Now, I am going to make an exception to this because I've just said that a 6 scythe blind bag is less DPS than just having 3 scythes in the bag. There is an exception to this. And that is if you do a setup like this. ignore the fact that scythe is misspelled. And also, let's not flashbang people. Let's just do it like this. So here's your 3 scythes, and then here's your 2 non-scythe substitutes, and then you need 3 more scythes. And the reason this works, and I can't calculate the numbers with this DPS calculator, but it should work, is because of the wording of blind bag. Automatically attack your target with a random heavy melee weapon in your inventory, as though you've equipped it. So even though your proc chance won't increase when you add more heavy weapons to your inventory, more than 5, you can increase the chance that the weapon you pull from your inventory is good. So theoretically, you can dilute these 2 bad blind bag outcomes by adding more scythes. And the funny thing about this is this doesn't actually change when you add more scythes. Like, there's no reason that if all you cared about was damage, you're not worried about sustain, all these caveats that would make this build a lot worse than it sounds. You could have an entire inventory just of scythes. And so it would be 3 scythes, 2 suboptimal weapons to increase your scythe proc chance. Maybe uncharged scythes, but more likely Nox Halberd and like Darok's Axe. And then the rest of the entire inventory is charged scythes. And what this would do is it would dilute the chance of you getting the bad outcomes so much that it becomes worth having more scythes. Now, do you want to spend the entire league in Theater of Blood getting 6 scythes just so you could be slightly better than 3 scythes? Maybe you do. Like, maybe you really like Theater of Blood, and, or maybe you went triple raid regions, your Desert Mauritania and Azea. Maybe you're doing that, and at that point, sure, you can benefit from all these extra mega rares you get. But I just thought it was really funny that this should work. But yeah, so to clarify what I'm saying is if you're going blind bag, you only need 3 scythes. Only need 3 scythes. And then after that, you gain no extra damage from the next 2 scythes. But after you get a 3rd scythe, then you can get another, well, a 6th scythe, really. So you gain no extra damage from your 4th scythe and your 5th scythe. But after you have your 6th scythe, then you theoretically can gain damage by putting it in the blind bag. I hope this video was insightful in some ways. If the numbers change or something is drastically wrong in the wiki calculator, I'll update the video. But since there were some misconceptions about how you do blind bag, I figured I would make the video. Thanks everyone for listening, and I will see you later.